Hello, everyone. This is your host, Debra Poneman, and I'd like to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Mashhur Anam. Mashhur is an alchemist of life transformation who is guided by a belief and deep knowing that anything is possible. Over the years, curiosity, exploration, and a desire to help humanity raise its collective consciousness have guided him to explore the holographic nature of our universe and uncover a multitude of algorithms and equations that create and design our reality as we know it. Mashhur's background in technology, coupled with extensive exploration of our multidimensional existence, has helped him to bring forth holographic tools and programs such as the Rings of Harmony, the Harmonic Shield, the Holographic Vision Board, Liquid Luck, and more. They are complex in nature, but at the same time easy to use, allowing anyone from any background to launch and work with them. During the most important time of our planetary transformation, holographic tools can be used and, in fact, are being used all over the world to transform lives, raise our vibration, expand our consciousness, reprogram our abundance matrix, redesign our relationship patterns, restore inner and global harmony, and redesign reality. And today you're going to discover an understanding of holographic tools and programs, how they can transform our lives, how to disconnect from non-beneficial morphic fields, such as group consciousness, powered by millions of people, and connect with empowering morphic fields. We're also going to experience a guided journey in processing for abundance, awakening the chakras, and transforming limiting beliefs. Wow. Well, I am extremely excited. I've been looking forward to this interview forever. Musher, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for your invitation, Debra. It is absolutely amazing. And I'm glad that all of you are listening because we are really at this crossroad and we can really redesign reality and we can simplify life. And that's what the programs are about. How to simplify life, how to change what we don't want to experience anymore. And I ask people this question, what would you love to experience? And from there, we can move forward and really reconstruct a reality that suits our needs.
Wow. Well, you got me with how to simplify life because it's so interesting, Musher. It's with all of this technology that makes things move more quickly with the internet and our cell phones, our smartphones, yet it seems like our lives are getting more complicated instead of less. So this is going to be very exciting. And I would love for you to start out by telling us a little bit about your journey. How did you develop, how did you cognize this amazing field of knowledge that you're sharing with the world?
Absolutely. My short answer would be through exploration and being curious. See, as a child, I was always very curious about how things worked, how the stars worked, how the planets worked, how the little things like atoms that I learned about in school, what they were, and had so many questions. And I was very connected as a child, but as I became a teenager, I disconnected thinking I need to stop hallucination. And, because I just did not know anybody else who could see information or interact with nature or the stars. And I really stopped. And after a long time, probably after about a decade of silence, I started to go back and study self-development. And I started to study meditations and different modalities. And I realized that these books and teachers and processes were taking me to the place where I used to play as a child. So then I started to explore more and more. And eventually, I started to notice the information in a different way. I started to access, what I call the hologram, and I started to see codes, geometry, algorithms, and information that create a projection of our three-dimensional reality. Now, it took me a little time to understand what this information is, but when I started to notice how I can change information, I started to develop these programs.
Okay, so you actually cognize codes. You started seeing codes that we wouldn't necessarily see with our naked eye. Those of us who are mere mortals, started you started cognizing them in a holographic way. Actually, it would probably be a great idea if you told everybody what a hologram was, because we might all have a different understanding of what we think it is. So I'd love to know from you.
Absolutely. I mean, a hologram is basically a projection of light and information. If you look at science fiction movies these days, they all have holograms. It's pretty common. They would create projections, starting with Star Wars. We have seen R2D2 creating a projection there in that movie. And these days it's pretty common. So it's simply a projection that you don't really touch, but it's in front of you. It's a projection of light and information. And with our new scientific discoveries and all the work physicists and the nuclear scientists and astrophysicists are doing, they are talking about a holographic model of this reality or this universe. And that means, just like a science fiction movie, there needs to be something that creates the projection. So in our case, there needs to be a consciousness that's beyond our normal space-time that creates the projection of our reality. Now, it's a matter of accessing that level of information so we can enter what is it that we would love to experience, so the projection that we see changes.
Okay, so even if we don't have the ability, like you said in Star Wars, where R2D2 would see, and now I'm picturing it, that it's almost like in the air, and he might be able to see it, but like I say, with the naked eye, we mere mortals don't, but we can make use of it, obviously, okay, through these holographic tools and programs, because I know that you've helped, tens of thousands of people, I don't know, maybe hundreds of thousands, and probably just a fraction of them are able to see what you see. So can you explain what these holographic tools and programs are and how they work and how we can actually make use of them?
Absolutely. See, when it comes to seeing, it's just something that we need to open up. Some years ago, let's say 10 years ago, I did not see all this information. I did not see chakras, but I was always curious. What if I could see it? Do they really exist? I started to explore, and the reason our brain filters out about 98% of the data that's coming to us is to prevent a traffic jam. Now, we never needed to see that. So we need to tell our brain that, you know what, I would love to see additional information. And gradually, people can start to see aura fields. People can start to feel more. People can start to communicate with plants, animals, planets, stars. Everything is possible because everything is connected. Now, when it comes to the holographic tools and programs, I'll give you a simple example. Let's say you are walking into an airport and you would go through a metal detector. The metal detector is programmed to pick up metals. If you have those metals, the detector would make a sound. The tools and programs work in a similar way. They are constructed with multidimensional sounds, light, geometry, and other equations. And what they do is they come down and they do a scanning of your energy field, your chakras, your meridians, and they pick up this harmony, the way an airport metal detector would pick up a metal, these tools are programmed to pick up disharmony. Now, disharmony can be around releasing, around relationship, around abundance, around health, it doesn't matter. But then what they do is they apply the information such as sound vibration, cosmic frequencies, different sacred geometries, different transformational algorithms. And what they do is they would transform the pattern that causes disharmony to something that is harmonious and that's beneficial for us. So that would be a simple way to put it, how actually the tools and programs work. Basically, they look at what's not working and they apply processes to create harmony.
Okay. Well, that sounds good to me. So, really, I mean, gosh, that would be amazing if these tools could, it's almost like a scan, like when you get a MRI or something like that, it like scans your body. And so this scans not only your body, but I assume the field around your body and picks up anything that is out of alignment, like you say, disharmony in our abundance field, our relationship field, and transforms that pattern. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, well, then you say that there are activation phrases that launch these holographic tools. Okay? Are they phrases that you say, that we say? Can you explain how that works?
Oh, sure. Now, I understand the process could be very technical, but I wanted to simplify things. See, I talk in terms of technology because that's my background. I work with media industries to help them develop products and services and applications. So I looked at, okay, what is available now and how can I simplify them? Now, I brought in technologies such as sliding the way we would do with an iPhone or iPad or voice commands. So the activations are actually a simple command phrase, such as activate something or apply template, that's the restore inner abundance. So these commands are built in. When people listen to a recording, then they get an installation from me directly. And each one of the products come with a recording and a PDF file with instructions. So all they need to do after they listen to the recording is just simply call a tool or a program by using an activation command. When they say the command, such as apply template, restore inner abundance, if they have the program installed, the program will come in, they will do the analysis, they will go through the person, they will start to change the abundance matrix the person holds. It is just like the way you would install a Microsoft Word or a Microsoft Office program on your computer. The program is stored somewhere on your hard drive, but on your desktop, you may have an icon that says Microsoft Word. All you need to do is double click that icon. You do not need to understand that technology or anything, but the tool launches every time. It's just that simple. That's why I wanted to make things simplified and I wanted to make it easy for people so that they can run tools and programs in the background even without spending hours every day. That's one of the reasons why a lot of the conventional modalities don't work because people simply do not spend 30 minutes or an hour a day to work with them. So this way people could be driving or they could be washing dishes or doing some other work and they could be running some of the tools in the background just by using an activation command.
Wow. So you can program things like success and abundance, wealth, harmonious relationships. You can program them, and we just go about our daily life, and they're running in the background. Now, just to make this clear, so do we have to say things like restore abundance or activate wealth or activate harmony, which is okay if we do? So we just kind of call on that program that's running in the background, or we don't even have to do that once you install it?
Well, all you have to do is call the program. So there are a few different ways people can run them. Some people like to listen to the recordings every time they run the process. And, that's how maybe some of the people like to build up their belief system, because they think me running it directly may work better initially. But once they get used to it, I just tell them all they need to do is use the activation phrase. And then when they get used to that, whether it's starting from the beginning or after they spend some time with the recording, then when they call in a program such as Restore Inner Abundance, the program is going to come in and do the work. And when it's done, it's going to leave. That's just simply how it works. And, nobody needs to understand all the technical details and all the codes. It is just like double clicking an icon on your desktop. All we need to do is use the activation command, let the tool come in, do its work, and it's going to leave when it's done.
Wow. Okay. Now, I also know that part of what you do is you deactivate negative programming, or, remove like energetic clutter that is stopping us from being harmonious in our relationships and having abundance. Is that a separate program, or how does that work?
Well, these programs automatically help people to do that, but there is a tool such as the holographic vision board that people can use to directly specify what are some of their limiting beliefs, disconnect from them, and connect with other beliefs that would be beneficial for them. So the tools do that automatically anyway. However, when we want to be more specific, then there are specific tools for that.
Okay. So to free ourselves from past programming and blocks, and so many people, we just feel like prosperity or harmonious relationships are just beyond our grasp. And it's because we're stuck in past pain and past hard childhood or whatever. So there are specific things that we could do to speed that up.
Absolutely. See, one very important thing to notice is, how we think, how we act, how we react. What I see people doing over and over and over again is they could disconnect from something, but then they go back and rerun the process in their mind about what happened, who did what should have happened, what could have happened, who owes them money, who owes them an apology. And when we keep doing them over and over and over again, we create those connections again and we make them stronger. So one thing I strongly recommend is, once people start to use the tools, disconnect from old patterns that are not beneficial, start to focus on creation energy, the things that you would love to experience, and let's stop creating award-winning movies around what happened in the past. Because the more we entertain that idea, the deeper we go. We're not in control of our thoughts. At least majority of the people are not. Thoughts will pop up. It's just how we are. But we can choose not to create stories around the thoughts, especially when it's not beneficial. So that is one shift we need to do consciously, so that we can allow the tools and the programs to work more efficiently without creating resistance and without recreating all the dramas. I know initially it could sound like a difficult thing to do, but what we really need to focus on is, whenever thoughts pop up that makes us feel bad or create any discomfort in us, let's think about unplugging from that thought or feeling or the person or the event, and let's focus on what is it that would be beneficial at the moment. Ask this question: what would I love to experience now? If it's not pain, let's focus on something else. So that way, we train our brain not to go back and think about old patterns all the time.
Wow. That's so simple. I love that. Just when you find your mind going back to some unpleasant thing that we usually expand the story of, just stop and say, what would I love to experience now? That makes that very easy, because usually it's to stop thinking about it. But if you say, what would I love to experience now? That's a great way to switch that up. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you can't really stop thinking. That's something we do naturally. And unless people are very trained to be very aligned, thoughts would pop up constantly. I think scientists talk about, we have at least 50 or 60,000 thoughts in a day. And so that's not something we control, but we can take charge about not creating stories around thoughts that are not beneficial or feelings that are not beneficial. When it's a thought about abundance or great relationships or harmony or other things that will be beneficial, then by all means go and create all kinds of stories and movies. But if it's not beneficial, let's stop, take a breath, and ask, what would I love to experience now? Then focus on those thoughts.
Yeah, and I know a friend who said that they used your knowledge, and they were in the middle of actually a natural disaster. It was in Colorado. And even at the moment, it was even going on, and they used your tools, and their entire energy switched from one of fear and foreboding to just magic and being totally present in the now and noticing all of the glory, as opposed to this fear that she was kind of locked into. So it doesn't even have to be something in the past, but something that's going on in the present. You could still do that switch.
Absolutely. It's just a simple switch. And when we make that switch, things can be very easy. And I ask people just to call in the tools, let them work in the background, focus on creation energy. So when people do that, since things are holographic, that means our inner resonance will create the harmony or disharmony we experience outside of us. Unless we hold something that is aligned with the disharmony we see outside of us, that would not show up in our reality. So, really, there is no need to be judgmental about what shows up. Just notice that this is showing up because there is a resonance inside me. So let me transform them, let me disconnect from them, and let's ask the question, what would I love to experience instead?
Wow, this is so great. It's almost like we have a secret helper. That makes it much easier than doing it on our own. This is exciting. And you've used the term morphic field, and I know that there are, I guess it has something to do with connecting to the group consciousness. Can you explain what a morphic field is and how we can get stuck based on other people's thoughts?
Absolutely. This is actually a very powerful concept. It has to do with group consciousness. If I say green tea, you will have certain thoughts or images that will pop up immediately, even before I finish saying green tea. Those are the fields that you're connected into. And everything we can think about has many morphic fields. Think about me saying Democratic Party or the Republican Party. There are certain thoughts and feelings that you will connect into.
That's true.
Yeah, so it is interesting how that works. And the idea is to notice what are some of the beliefs that are beneficial for us and what are some of the beliefs that are not beneficial for us. So this way we can disconnect from the group consciousness when it's not supporting us, such as the group consciousness of different type of diseases. Disconnect from them. Think about possibilities. Start to focus on some of the great yogis and Qigong masters and how they have maintained perfect health. Think about the planet, how the planet regenerates, how the planet is healthy. So we can disconnect easily from non beneficial fields and connect with things we would love to experience. Because if we are connected into those other big fields that are draining our energy because they're powered by millions, sometimes billions of people. A lot of people think nothing works for me. No, I go one step forward and two step backwards, or it is hard to make money, or there could be so many other beliefs. Some of them come from our parents, some come from other ancestors, some come from our environment, our upbringing, the schools, colleges we've been a part of, the jobs, career, businesses, and really it is important to notice what is working and what is not working. Focus on some of the limiting beliefs and let's harmonize everything once and for all so that we can really focus on the creation energy.
Okay, so first, can you just define morphic field? So I get the analogy. You think Democratic Party, you think Republican Party, you have a different, even a physiological reaction to those. Are you saying that through this holographic programming or reprogramming, when we would think Democratic Party or Republican Party, we would no longer have that physiological reaction to it?
So we can change that. Absolutely. We can change that. So we can be more neutral and non-judgmental because the tool such as the holographic vision board can help people to disconnect from some of these old patterns and beliefs that are not beneficial and reconnect with other types of information that would be beneficial. So when somebody hears about money or finance or abundance, if the person's immediate thought process is, it is difficult to earn money, or nothing works for me, or I always fail in business, guess what? That person is going to connect with millions of other people and their group consciousness and will be drained. Their energy will go down. So that's just how these fields work. So we need to change that and connect that person with a different group consciousness, such as everything works for me 100% of the time, or I'm always abundant, or money flows easily through me, or start to connect with companies or processes that are beneficial. So when we start to do that consciously, then it becomes easy for us to be empowered by a group consciousness because they're supporting us and they are in alignment with who we are.
Whew. Okay, that's great. So I'm really excited to live that new reality because when you were talking, I'm thinking, yeah, but one is good and one is bad. But I guess that's not true.
Yeah, there's nothing about good and bad. It's just different types of energy, and we need to start to notice what is beneficial for us based on what we would love to experience. So if we can just make a simple shift in our thoughts and use the tools and programs to disconnect and release old patterns, old beliefs, and install new ones that are more multidimensional in nature so that we can expand and grow and we can manifest faster.
Yeah, and that's how we'll actually experience miracles in our life because I guess if we disconnect from belief systems and morphic fields that are not beneficial to us, then we can align with what is available to us, which is essentially miracles.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. Well, I think this is going to be a great time for you to take us through your process and around abundance and transforming our limiting beliefs using your tools. We're ready and eager to have an experience.
Sounds great. So let's take a deep breath, everyone, and let go. I will create a sacred space of neutrality and non judgment around each and every one of you. And as a group, we will journey to the center of our sun. I will flush your energy field with sunlight. Allow the light to go through your cells, your atoms, and your DNA. Allow the light to go through your chakras and your meridians. Notice your sensation. I will call in a tool called the rings of harmony around you. It's a set of rings with information encoded, and the rings would rotate and they would start to release old patterns that are not beneficial anymore. You can visualize dirty water coming out of you. This way, you can send a signal to your subconscious that you're releasing all old beliefs and stuck energies. Continue to breathe in and out and focus on your heart space. And in front of you now, I will launch the holographic vision board. Think about the vision board like an Excel spreadsheet with two columns. Put some of your goals and visions on the vision board. You can think about typing them. You can think about just projecting your goals or your feelings, your thoughts. The vision board understands that. Your information will go into the left-hand column automatically. Just put 3 or 4 goals. Now in the right-hand column, the vision board automatically generates connections with people, places, timelines, events, and morphic fields that are not beneficial for you anymore. At the bottom of that column, there's a button that says disconnect. Press the button disconnect in your mind or think disconnect. When you do that, the vision board disconnects you from all of those non-beneficial connections. And it helps you to connect automatically with higher vibration. Notice your sensation. Now I will do a little deep cleansing of your 12 major chakras so you can hold a higher vibration of abundance. So continue to be in your heart space and just breathe in and out deeply and gently. Now I will run a program to release block patterns. Continue to breathe in and out and notice your thoughts, your feelings, sensations that you may have. Let's breathe in and out deeply a few times. Now, in your mind, visualize a golden bowl and think about that golden bowl representing your bank account. And now stretch the golden bowl, make it bigger. When you do that, you send a signal to your subconscious that you are making more room for more abundance. Think about the golden bowl filling up with golden coins. Notice your feelings. Stay in this vibration for a little while. Now let's breathe in and out deeply and gently 3 more times. As a group, we'll come back to Earth and your normal space-time. Disconnect from the group and come back to your present moment. Rub your hands together and gently open your eyes. All right. Hope everyone's back.
I'm back. That was quite phenomenal. Wow.
Yeah, so people can certainly go deeper by using the tools. There are tools to create harmony by releasing patterns that cause disharmony. There are programs for integrating a higher vibration of abundance, higher vibration of love, joy, healing. So it's a matter of practice. When people use the tools on a regular basis, they start to raise their vibration. They start to hold more light, and then their manifestation abilities can also increase.
That was actually my experience during that, was how much light was pouring in, like this phenomenal amount of light.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really extraordinary. One of the problems with being the host is that, you kind of want to stay in that place, but you have to start talking again. I also found that I had some fatigue from going to bed very, very late and getting up very, very early, and that just seemed to melt away as well. And I was remembering also that another thing that occurs when we make use of these tools that you offer is that it does raise our personal vibration, and then it also can raise the vibration of the people in our families and in who we come in contact with. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Because when you are in a high vibration, others will absorb the information from you. Your field will automatically send out high vibrational data alignment for others to connect with their higher vibration, their higher consciousness. It's going to get much easier.
Yeah, I've heard people say that they had issues that they'd been avoiding for years. I actually had one friend who said she had an issue that she was avoiding for decades, and she just effortlessly took care of it after she started utilizing your programs. Is that common?
It can be common. It normally is common. The only time where people would relieve some of those is, as I was explaining earlier, that when they go back and reconnect with all the old stuff that used to happen and who has done what and who should be punished, and all kinds of thoughts people have, those are the things that would recreate the disharmony that we used to experience. So that's why I tell people, just simply let them go, because holding on to some of those dense patterns and beliefs is really not helping you. The other person, it doesn't matter for the other person, but it really affects the person who is thinking and feeling those thoughts. So once we really disconnect from them, it could just be that simple and that easy.
Well, I would love for you to share with us some specific turnarounds that you've seen when people who have applied, like I know because I have friends who have made use of what you offer, but can you share with us some turnarounds that you've seen from people who have applied what you teach?
Oh, absolutely. I'd like to talk about some of the companies also so that people understand that these can be used for large-scale companies, and they are being used by them. There is a CEO in Asia who owns a computer company such as it's similar to our Best Buy in the US. Now, after running some of the tools and programs for him and setting up a process, then he mentioned that his revenue went up by 1.5% in a very down market economy. And this year also, I met with him to create some of the new goals and visions for the upcoming year. So that was a really big aha moment for them because he did not understand anything about the tools and programs. He just thought, okay, it's working for me. I don't know how it works, and I don't know exactly how you're doing it or what you're setting up, but I like the money. So let's continue to do that. There is another one. It's a garments industry. It's also in Asia. And they told me, which is something interesting, that when I set up the tools and programs and after they start to work with them, some of their old clients actually left. And then they start to get luxury clients. And they were after these luxury clients for years and they were being ignored. And now they realize that the old clients who used to complain about the price of thread, that complaint is not there anymore. And the luxury clients are just looking at quality. So they can make a lot more money by even producing less. So these are like interesting statistics. But recently, I also sent out a survey about some of the abundance class and abundance programs and how the abundance tools are working for people. And about 75% said their thought process about abundance completely changed. Because the way I define it, abundance is not just money. It's a flow of everything in harmony. So when your thought process around abundance changes and you start to operate from neutrality and non-judgment, knowing that all options are possible, you can easily attract new opportunities. So these are really powerful, and people from all over the world are using the tools and programs, except for the continent of Antarctica. I have people everywhere. So, hopefully some scientists from Antarctica will start to use them. Then I'll have 7 continents covered.
I hope that happens. That would be fantastic. And perhaps it could affect the morphic field around global warming. And actually, as I said that, I thought to myself, that is a morphic field that everybody believes that we're headed towards destruction. So we can switch that morphic field of thinking and judgment through your program and not be part of the problem, but rather part of the solution.
Absolutely. I focus on creation energy. Let's release what's not working. Let's disconnect from them. Let's notice them, but let's focus on what we would love to experience. So when it comes to the whole planet, we would love to experience more harmony, more joy, more abundance. So I would want to focus on those instead of what kinds of issues are popping up so that I help people and companies that are working to create solutions so that we experience a planet where people live in harmony and joy and they are abundant. So we need to start to change our thought process and not empower organizations or companies or systems that are not supporting us anymore. And then we can empower the ones that are multidimensional in nature, the companies, organizations, and people that are working for sustainability, for helping planet, for helping animals and plants and minerals. So we really can easily do that when we have enough people thinking in that way.
Wow. This is fantastic. It really is, because I'm realizing how much time, I'll speak for myself, I spend on putting my attention on the companies that I feel are working against the good for the planet's people and focusing on them and just this moment. And sometimes it's almost an addiction. You see another article about certain companies and you want to read it and, rail against them. It's like an addiction. And I'm getting that what you do is these programs that are installed through what you have to offer us, it loosens the grip of that addiction.
Yes, it certainly helps people. And here's the thing, though. When you focus on companies or people that are doing things that are not for the highest good, energy is energy. You're still sending them energy. And when you send them energy of anger, that's also a very powerful form of energy. These companies know that. That's why often they escalate things so that they can also be empowered by groups that are maybe working against them, but ultimately that helps. Like Mother Teresa said it so nicely that I will not attend a rally against war, but if you have a rally for peace, then invite me and I will join. So it is very powerful. She understood the power of creation. So we want to focus on creation energy. That's why I ask people to, think about this question every morning when they wake up. What would I love to experience today? And just focus on that for a few minutes from your heart space. Your whole day could be completely different.
Wow, Musher, this is utterly powerful, beautiful, fantastic, and we want more of it. So I know that you put together a special offer for everyone who's listening to this call, and we want to know what it is. And by the way, I highly encourage everyone to go to Mushur's special offer right now, experience it for yourself. You can just click on the special offer button that's on the page. So Musher, can you let everyone know what they'll find there?
Absolutely. So this package has 6 tools and programs and a couple of recorded coaching calls to help people get started. So let me briefly go through the programs. The first one is a holographic tool called the Rings of Harmony. And I ask people to start their day with the Rings of Harmony. This is one of the tools we experience during the call. And what this does, it helps people to isolate patterns that are not working, patterns of disharmony, patterns of anger, and everything else that we don't want to experience. And it applies different information and algorithms to convert them so that something harmonious can be experienced. And the Rings of Harmony can be used for anything with an energy field. So your body, your product services, your cup of tea or coffee, your home, your office, your business. What I ask people to do is just quickly run this tool every morning for themselves, their family members, their home office, and create harmony. Because we are constantly picking up things from the environment and from others that may not be beneficial. So we can maintain harmony by using this tool. And it certainly raises the vibration of tools and products and services. People who have CDs or books or classes or programs they want to offer or have websites, they can run the tool around all of them to raise the vibration immediately. The next item is the holographic vision board. We also used that during the process. And the vision board it's more of a fluidic tool, and it's a very powerful one to define some of the goals and visions. The vision board will automatically help people to connect with group consciousnesses that are higher in vibration, and people can also easily detach from old patterns, old beliefs, and groups that are not beneficial for them anymore. Then I have a couple of tools for abundance. One is Restore Inner Abundance program. What this one does is when people call this tool, it comes down, it scans people's chakras to see how much abundance can this person hold. And gently, this program will start to bring in a 5th dimensional abundance matrix. So that means abundance could be instantaneous, it's more natural. Gradually, this program will help people to integrate energy and information in a way so our thoughts about abundance, money, finances can change completely, and we become more self sufficient, responsible, and we can attract what we would love to experience more easily. So, this is a program that people can use on a regular basis and really rewrite their history when it comes to abundance. Then the next one is a fun one. It's called Liquid Luck. I use it all the time when I think about adding more people to a class or a program. What this program does is it looks at your goals and visions. This one also has the vision board integrated for abundance, and people can put some of their goals when they run this program, and then the program sends out a vibration to the entire planet to help them to gradually attract the people, places, companies, organizations, or anything else that they're looking for. So vibrationally, there is a match so that they can receive the abundance that they're looking for. And it's a really fun tool. People can use it for meetings, for attracting more business, for selling more books, or attracting more clients, getting more registration. It's a really awesome one. When people start to use them on a regular basis, then they start to build up a belief around these tools, because initially, people who are not sensitive to the flow of energy, they cannot detect them because they're holographic. People who see energy or feel or notice more, they notice them right away, and they notice how they're working for them. But those who are in the process of developing some of those senses, for them, they will start to notice some of the changes, and then they will build up their beliefs. One thing I recommend is for people to stay neutral and non judgmental, and do not get caught up in what is supposed to happen or what should happen. That way, we create interference. So, disconnect from those, be neutral, run the tools, and be curious. I wonder how the path of maximum harmony may unfold for me. Then I have two programs around love and relationships. One is Love is Power. This helps people to integrate the highest vibration of love their energy field can hold at that moment. So gradually, what it helps people to do is rise above old patterns and densities and old timelines that may have created a lot of density around allowing and receiving love in their life. And gradually, it helps them to increase the intensity of love, joy, harmony, and collaboration in life. And the last one is a holographic program, Release Blocked Patterns in Love. And this is again isolates all the blocks around love, the limitations and restrictions we have. Some are coming from our ancestors, some come from our environment and what we have experienced growing up. And there are many different types of resistance we go through in life. So gradually, this program will help people to resolve them, dissolve all the old patterns, and help to raise the vibration around unconditional love and support. And this package also comes with two recorded coaching calls. In total, I think there are over 4 hours. There are a lot of processing in the coaching calls, and there are most likely hundreds of questions and answers from the audience. So people can get started, and a lot of their questions can be answered when they go through the coaching call.
Well, this is quite the powerful offer. And I also, as I was looking at the offer, I glanced down at some of the testimonials that people have offered, and they are truly phenomenal. A lot of people seem to be using these tools with their children and having some phenomenal results with even helping their kids get into colleges. But besides that, just, behaviors and more harmony in the family. And so yet another avenue that these tools can be used. I have one more quick question. What do you think most people experience soon, like kind of immediately, starting right away, and then over time by applying your program? What would be like the most immediate benefits that people notice?
Immediately, a lot of times people start to notice the flow of energy, different type of sensations they get. This way they know something's happening. And depending on the goal, different information can show up. When people are neutral and non-judgmental, that's when they receive more from the tools because they're not creating interference. So it could be like some people have used it to start their car. They were curious, like, is my car going to start if I use the tool? And they email me, my car stopped, I used the tool, and it just started. A number of people email me about their DVD players not working, and they used the Rings of Harmony. They were curious, and the DVD player started to work. See, they worked really fast because the people who used them, they were just curious. I wonder what would happen. They were not judgmental. They were not expecting anything. That way, we can allow the universal energy to flow through us very easily.
Wow. Okay, phenomenal. Wow. Okay. So before we go, I just want to ask you if you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share with everyone.
Well, my main thing would be, just to let people know that all things are possible. We live in a universe that is holographic in nature. That means every option, every possibility exists. And instead of thinking about what is not working, we need to shift our thought process, disconnect from what's not working, use the tool to harmonize those areas in your life, and then focus more on creation energy. Focus more on restore inner abundance in liquid love and love is power, programs like that. And really ask that question every day. What would I love to experience today? When you wake up, ask that question. And that's a very powerful way to start your day, knowing that all options are available and you can choose your experiences. The more you practice, the easier this is going to get.
Very good. Well, as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to ask what would I love to experience for the rest of this day and see what happens. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Musher. This has been phenomenal. Will you come back again?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to.
Well, we would love to have you, and thank you so much for taking us through that amazing process. I'm still vibrating. I can't wait to start making use of what's in your package. And again, thank you.
You're welcome. It's been fun, and have fun, everyone.
Yes, and thank you to everyone for spending this time with me and with Mashhur Anam. And I look forward to when we are all together again. This is Debra Poneman. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I know you will.